Okay, there we go. Both sides now together. So, hello and welcome, everybody, coming into being. And wherever you are in your day, this is the time, the moment to connect in with yourself. To, if it's the beginning of the day, to get prepared for the day, to really be connected, fully present with yourself, fully lined up with your higher self, then you can move forward as one full, coherent, integrated person. And if it's the end of the day, then it's that time to kind of recenter yourself from all the busy things, all the activities, everywhere you've been, all the people you've been seeing, to reintegrate yourself and reconnect in. So, Joni, hi, good to see you. If you're stopping in on the chat, and oh, Wisdom Happy, hey, good to see you. You're welcome to say hi in the chat, and it's always fun to see who's there, but you can also feel free to just sit in the background if you like. I tend to be a little bit that way myself, so I totally get it. It's and either way is good. So let's take a nice deep breath in and just kind of exhale, make a sound, make a soft sound, just a oh, oh. Just to let your system know we're going to be relaxing here. Time to chill. We don't need to go running anywhere. Oh, kind of like a little sigh, you know. You can't be sighing, taking a sigh, and being stressed out. They kind of cancel each other out. And a sigh is just that expression of deeper relaxation, but it's also that signal to the body of relaxing more deeply. Hey, Caroline, feet are on the ground. Yes, there we go. Sure, socks. Well, socks are okay if it's not too cold. But yeah, if you want to take your socks off, that's fine. That's up to you. So take a moment to just kind of settle in with your arm. Just kind of wiggle around a little bit, loosen everything up. Sometimes our muscles just get a little too locked in place because we're up here, we're doing something, and then we shift, and then we shifted up here, but then our muscles are still kind of holding and forgot. So it's kind of good to just kind of loosen things up. And Cherie, hello, Cherie. And then let yourself just settle in. Yes, good morning over to where you are. I had socks on last time. You thought my feet were not on the ground. They were, well, your feet can be on your ground physically, but you might not be in your feet and grounded. So just because I say that your feet are on the ground, I mean, it's like energetically you're not connecting in. So make sure your awareness is down into your feet. But yeah, I mean, it could be the socks if you know uh, you've got nylon. Plastic is being used a lot in making manufacturing clothes. So like the stuff that you buy at Walmart, um, clothes might be made with plastic. So that could be, that could be an interference issue. So just saying. Okay, settling into the breath. Take a nice deep breath in, hold at the top. Hold it a little bit longer, 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 longer. See if you can just resist that, taking that breath, because taking that breath in tends to be that survival thing. And then just relax, let it all out. Feel yourself just drop down more. And then come into the heart space, the chest or heart space. Taking another deep breath in. Seeing where you're breathing from, just becoming aware of where your breath is happening. Is it happening up here? Is it happening in the lower ribs? settling down. Feeling your back. Let's do some breaths, focusing on the breath, but being aware of your back. So your back is kind of expanding back and to the sides as well, just to get in more deeply into that presence. And we tend to focus up front more because we're facing the world this way. So, but we've got back there is good to pay attention to, also to the back. Feel your back. Feel feel the clothing on your back, and if you're pressed up against something, if you're leaning against a pillow or the chair, notice that. Become aware of that to really come into the back. Yeah, I think that's a good place to work on today. People will sneak up on you from behind and energetically, and just like, oh, let me get up on your shoulders so you can carry me. It gets to be like old habits. And what happens also is that maybe you've stepped out of a habit or of a program of being burdened, carrying other people on yourself energetically. So that's cleared up, but then you've got this kind of empty space back there because your energy hasn't really kicked in to that place. So the frequencies, the programming might be gone, but then we got to fill in that space for yourself. So really kind of come into your back and your shoulders. You can include your shoulders, top shoulders, and then back. So yeah, and even let's start with the shoulders. So kind of just touch your shoulders, squeeze, kind of poke them a little bit, just to, okay, this is it. To just bring that kinetic awareness into that area and bring your mind to that area. When we feel something tangibly, then our mind goes there more easily. So just start kind of getting into the cycle of kind of these lower, some people call it the belly breath, or lower abdomen, just feeling your ribs expand out, lower ribs expand out. And then with each exhale, just focusing on those shoulders and just like, okay, just being there, and just everything else, let's melt it away. Let's just dissolve that out. And yeah. So just keep doing that, focusing on the inhale, bringing lower belly breath, or lower rib breath, belly breath. So everything in the lower ribs and waist, kind of feeling that expand. And then on the exhale, just feeling that tension and just releasing it out through the mouth. Yeah. And some of you have like little gremlins sitting on your shoulder. One person in particular. So if you feel like you've got this kind of like, yeah. That would be that little gremlin there, giving you bad advice. So we don't need that gremlin, just kind of like, okay, let's move off. Nothing to see here, just move off. And you can literally, if that helps, if that, feel like you're taking a hold of it and saying, thank you, hold it. And with your hand, you can't see me on Instagram, but, grab hold of it and just gently saying, sorry, thanks for stopping by, and time to go. I've got other things to do now. Thank you. Bye. It can really be that easy to clear things up for yourself. Okay, coming into the back of the neck, the spine and the neck. So feel that area There's there's a little bit of attachments there. That's a typical area to kind of get stuff coming in or hooking into. That's a control area. So that's kind of, you might notice when you kind of have a sense that somebody's trying to control you, that there's your neck is kind of getting grabbed at, or it starts to get stiff, or, or afterwards you might like kind of feel your neck is like, what the hell happened here? So taking a nice deep breath in, filling that up, and then on the exhale, it's just like focusing on that area. It's like, okay, release, release, release. Yeah. Yeah, so do that a couple more times. Deep breath in. On the exhale, just releasing with that breath all the anything, tension, any stress, any dark patches, anything that's not you. Okay, yeah. And clearing up that spine also for people, for the group, yeah. Okay, we're going to keep moving down the back side for now. So shoulders, so move into that shoulder blades, across the shoulder blade area. That whole from right to left. Let yourself feel it. If you have a hard time feeling your back, I mean, you can lean into something to make that tactile contact, so that it. Oh, how to wear white? I just saw your name on there. Good to see you. If you have a hard time feeling your body in certain areas, like your back, because we're so used to being up front, our backs, we get stuff on our backs. You can, lean against something so that there's that physical sensation to bring the awareness into your brain. It's like rewiring your brain, saying, okay, there's stuff here. Feel into that. Or also sometimes what I've done is literally just pull my shirt and lean into that. So I can, there's that, again, it's that tactile sensations, because it's a little hard up there to really do that with our hands. Or so feel into the back. You've got two shoulder blades. They're like wings turned in. And then there's the spine in the middle. Yeah. And get a sense. So we'll take a little bit slower here. There's the spine. There's the vertebrae. There's that bump that sticks out. Each vertebrae has this part of the bone structure of the vertebrae has it's like this little bump on the back. There's a bump dip in your back. So get a sense of it. And when you get really good at tuning in, you could actually count down. Wings turned in, yeah. You can move your awareness down one by one. And you can have a sense of underneath those the shoulder blades. There's the ribs that are there. So just kind of imagining that. You can always get hi, Sydney. Oh, Asta in Sydney too. Hello. You can also take an image like off the internet, or book, anatomy book if you have one, but off the internet of the structure there. And just as you look at that, it's like, okay, that's my kind of feel your back and say, okay, there's my shoulder blades, and kind of put your awareness back there. That will help to bring that into, anchor that into that brain body connection. And the ligaments, and there's ligaments, and there's muscles back there. There's these little tiny muscles that run all the way between the vertebrae. So just kind of becoming aware of that. And we'll add to the neck also. So there's the vertebrae in the neck, the little muscles, coming down just in the shoulder blade area. So we know that's going down further, but really building up that area, breathing into that. So with every breath, you're just filling up, and then on the exhale, you can release out, but you can also just move that breath into that area. Like you're on the in-breath, you're filling up your lungs, and then on the exhale, sending that into your back even more. So it's pretty close together there because it's the lungs right there and the back right there, but spreading out. So it's a little bit of a visual exercise, but you move your energy with your with what you're focusing on. So I will bring more energy into that area, and more energy, that means more of you, more of your awareness in there. Yeah. And cleared up that. Yeah, very nice. Okay, let's go down. So the middle section, so below the shoulder blades to maybe about hip bone, top of the hip bone. So look, that's kind of like the waist area, your back. Now, if you're really keyed in, when you're really keyed in, you'll notice that it's like, oh, the ribs just kind of drop off. There's those little floating ribs, and they're not, they're attached on the back. They're not in the front, but they're a little bit looser because they're not attached to the front on the front side. And spine goes down. So that's the rest, lumbar vertebrae. Again, the vertebrae, the bumps, get a sense that there's all these little bones that are sitting on, circular bones that are sitting on top of each other, held by, there's the tendons that hold, kind of position them together, and the muscles, and then there's the big muscles that are there, and there's it's with the waist, there's not the bone structure there, so it may be a sense of softer as you feel into that. And just becoming aware of that area. If you want, take your hands, place them on the back, just kind of squeeze, feel that area. In breath, filling that. You can also, on the in-breath, fill up that area. Imagine your breath going and filling up that area. So mostly the back side, but it should probably fill up that whole area, front and back sides. And then on the exhale, just releasing stress, tension, all these riffraff energies, as I like to call that. Like the peanut gallery, not supposed to be here. Probably it starts to be a peanut gallery up here too, with all these extra things that aren't yours. So it's like, all right, let's move it off. Time to close down that gallery up there. Yeah, good. Just allowing that to shift out. All right, let's move on down. So that's really the whole, from the top of the hip bones, they actually go up pretty high in the back. And so it's that whole pelvic seat. If you look, if you look at anatomy, it's kind of pretty cool looking, because you've got this, it's like you've got this basin of bones that we sit on. And it's literally looks like this little basin, this structure. Focusing on the back. So the spine continues on down. And then there's the sacrum, which is sort of, kind of get the butterfly analogy. We have the two butterfly wings down there too. And then the tailbone. So feeling that back area, breathing into it. Now we're moving a little, so the lungs are expanding, but with that breath going into that, with your mind going into that lower abdomen area, filling that up. So the belly expanding, and then releasing all that excess stuff out. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that a couple more times. Yeah, good. Feeling yourself, what you're sitting on. If you're lying down, sit up for this part, just because it's harder doing it lying down. Just feel your seat, your butt, your thighs, that little pelvic floor basin on whatever you're sitting on. Let yourself connect in. Be present there. Notice your body, and then notice what you're sitting on. Notice what that feels like. Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it kind of squishy? Really, you just sink in, or is it, there's a little bit of give, but it's firm? Or maybe on the floor, that it's like hard wood. Yeah. And from there, so imagine that you're sitting on something, but imagine that there's kind of like this little plate, that you're sitting, energetic plate that you're sitting on. And then it's like this. It's not a cord. It's like there's a, I can't find the word. Like a beam, but yeah, like a beam. That it's going down from that plane, center of that plate, going down to the core of the earth. Okay. And some of you are not on there. That's okay. But imagine that beam going all the way down to the core of the earth. Okay. So we're gonna shift people, because that's your connection. That's a different kind of grounding than a grounding cord. It's very different. So everybody's kind of all over the place. So drop down to the core of the earth. Just follow that beam down to the core of the earth. And don't worry about, well, I got to be sitting on top of that plate. Yeah. Just kind of focus core of the earth. Drop down, core of the earth. Yeah. Let's get everybody down there first. And just stay in that connection to the earth. We'll pull everybody down first. Down, 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 down. Just keep aiming for the earth core, connecting in. Okay. Now let's say connected to that. There's something I need to clear up here first. A little bit of interference. So just staying focused on being connected into the earth. Like there's nothing else but that connection to the earth. Oh. There we go. And that, and also the new Earth grid. So it's like there's this energetic grid work that's the planet, the Earth, so the energetic level. And again, I've talked about this before. I think most of you have heard this, but the new Earth grid, I really make that distinction because there was an Earth grid, and all of a sudden it just got, I guess you could say, infiltrated. And so there was some frequencies that weren't supposed to be there that were, so were kind of infiltrated in. And so the Earth grid was getting hijacked, and new one got set up because that. So why is that important? Because if you're grounding into frequencies that are not, like you're grounding into the earth and you're taking in frequencies that are not pure earth frequencies, then you're not getting grounded. So that will throw off your system energetically and make you more susceptible to interference at the energetic level instead of making you strong and stable when you connect into the earth. So new Earth grid, yeah. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's starting to shift through. So with your breath, just gently coming back up, it's like you're sucking on a straw and you're just inhaling up those frequencies from the earth. Yeah, so that's showing up really nicely now. With nature frequencies. And you can exhale out your mouth to just release any energetic toxins, anything that's not yours. Let's expand that space. Ah. There you go. Kind of getting people a little more precisely aligned with themselves at that energetic level. Yeah. So you might notice, you might feel, or you might see like this kind of bright blue-white line going straight through you. So that is that alignment. And everybody's doing pretty well. Some of you are a little bit stronger than others. That's all right. That's good for, because we learn from each other also in a group. So at spirit level, you guys are all kind of seeing what everybody else is doing. So it's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, and you realign yourself. So yeah, very nice. So coming into that spine, because that's really where that line is, feeling that. And what you can do is go up and down your spine with your breath. So it's like on the in breath, go up the spine. And you can do, if you really want to get precise, you could go up the back, the outside of the spine, and then on your in breath, go down the inside of your spine. If you just go up and down, that's fine too. Up the spine, and then out breath, just down the spine. More general, depends on if you do that for a while, then it's like that's kind of a more precise. It takes more focus, so that gets you in more precisely lined in, tapped in. Yeah, there we go. And strengthening that, deepening and strengthening that flow, that connection, that alignment in the spine, alignment to yourself. Spine is important. Neck is very important. Something takes hold of your neck, it's got control of you, basically, because that's your whole nervous system into your brain, into your whole body. We see that with cats, with mother cats picking up their kittens by the neck, and the cat goes kind of and doesn't move. Yeah, there we go. Strengthening that flow. Really nice. It's got that beautiful bluish white color light of spirit essence. Yeah. Showing up really nicely for everybody. So from your spine, so on your in-breath, feeling your spine, your whole spine as best as you can. And on the out-breath, imagining that light just going through your whole nervous system, radiating out from your spine. And just keep with that, with the breath. Inhale on the spine, exhale just that energy radiating out from the spine through the whole nervous system, the rest of your body. Kind of keep coming back to the spine. We've done this before with the spine, the nervous system, because that's a key to the functioning of our physical body. That nervous system, that information pathway. Yeah. And That's lighting up more stuff. It's releasing out more stuff and lighting up the rest of the body. Some of you, again, some of you are more lit up, and that's fine. And some of you are just, it's more like little lines for the nervous system. You're getting filled up with that blue light. You know, you can, on the in-breath, your spine, your whole nervous system just getting filled up, and on the exhale, just feeling that expand out. If you could visualize, if you cannot visualize it, that's okay. Just kind of have a sense that, okay, that's what it's doing. You might not be able to get a visual because there's interference up in this little toolbox of our heads. There's filters that are just blocking that information. And, you know, one thing you can do with that when stuff like that comes up, it's like, well, I'm not getting any information. Just say to yourself, it's like, I'm not getting any information now, but I know I will. That opens the door for that to happen. This is, I can't see anything. That just keeps those doors shut, keeps the doors closed, keeps that completely locked out for yourself. It's like, well, I'm not really getting anything here. It's like, but I know I will. That just kind of like relaxes everything, opens it up, helps you to relax in and allow that to come through. And with just that, giving yourself that knowingness that, yeah, I'll get there. I will get there. I don't know when, it doesn't matter when, but I will get there. Yeah. Lighting up the dark. Yeah. It's kind of interesting because the spines of the nervous system are really lit up, and then everything else is dark. So just keep focusing on that breath, the spine, on the in-breath, and then all the way to the nervous system if you want, and then on the exhale, flowing from the spine to the nervous system, or if you're doing the spine, nervous system, all of that, just expanding and radiating out. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Very nice. Yeah. So notice that sense of just calmer sense, quiet. There's this stillness that's there. Yeah. More relaxed. Notice those feelings of more relaxation, more quiet, more stillness. Mind not so busy, hopefully even not busy at all, just in that quiet stillness. So notice those impressions. So again, that stillness, that quietness, that calm in your body, they're just that calmer feeling. Then notice a point in your body. And then notice that calm again. Notice that point in your body. Yeah. Very good. Anchoring that in more deeply. Oh, don't let that head get in the way there. It's like there was a little bit of a hiccup there with the head. Just was trying to go. The head was going to go, yeah, but it's like, nope, no. It's tough. You know, the headpiece is really hard to work with because there's so much survival that's connected in with us getting in that. because we're there's a lot of, sometimes even up to here, up to really just below the chin. Everything below is filled up with either sadness, grief, pain, hurt, all this stuff. And so we pull up here into our heads and even further out, because it's really hard to get into that. Everything that we've stuffed away. So it depends. It's not everybody here, but that's just coming up to say. So we have to take that lightly. So that's why the head all of a sudden goes, but you know, because it's our survival instinct. And the thing is, at one time that was helpful to get us through whatever we needed to get through. But then we have to shift out of that, because otherwise we're basically always triggered. We're always in a triggered state, and always responding to a trigger that was from whenever it was. And that keeps us from being functional, and that keeps us from being and doing what we want to, and having better lives. So there's a lot of ways to unravel all this stuff. Coming back into that spine and that nervous system. Yeah, there you go. So with the yeah, but get out some paper and pen, pencil, whatever, and write it. Let that expression come out. It's like, okay, here's your chance. What is the yeah, but about? Tell me, and write it out. And that's a way of hearing it out, letting it release. Tear it up. That's not to be analyzed, looked over. It's like, you know, it's like you're not analyzing all the calls you get from when you talk to your friend. So this is sort of like talking to your friend, having your friend listen. Okay, that conversation's done. We're done with this. Over. It's finished. It's released. Tear it up, trash it, burn it, shred it if you want. It's a really good way of saying it's like, okay, we're done. Done with this. You release something out. It's like, okay, done. We don't need to go there anymore. It's out. I've heard it. It's gotten released. Out. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm also reminded here, one of the most important things we can do with ourselves is to keep the energy flowing, keep the flow moving. And we can get really kind of just locked into something, and we just feel so much better if we just let, you know, it's like, okay, I'm either you're stagnating or you're flowing, you know. It can happen moment to moment. There's a lot of different tools for that. We did one at the beginning. You just kind of, you know, shake yourself off. Stomp around. Sound is good. Journaling, like I mentioned. So all those things, you know, those are really simple things you can do for yourself. And feel that just release. It's like, oh, okay, I'm back in the flow. Back in your system flowing. You've got this energetic system. We focused a bit on here, and it wants to keep flowing. So when it doesn't flow, you get that stagnation, let's say in your shoulder. It kind of gets stuck there. Well, when you get stuck, if it gets stuck long enough, then you stop being able to move your shoulder, and you stop being able to move your arm correctly. And then there's all this compensation, and then you injure your shoulder, and then you need surgery, and then, you know, then it just keeps going and going and going. It also gets into how it manifests. You know, if you're stuck in here, then everything in the external is going to be stuck too. It's not going to be flowing. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be open. And that's what we want. And we can't wait for the external to be open and flowing so that we can feel open and flowing. If it's not happening on the outside, it's because it's not happening on the inside. It's that simple. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Let's just gather everything up in that one breath and that holding. And on the exhale, really hard and loud, and just release everything that's come up. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. And coming into that stillness and that calm. When you get to that place of having enough still calm and quiet within yourself, and quiet even in terms of physically, that tension just being more relaxed, that mind not really going, focusing on the breath. When you get deep enough, you'll get to this place where all of a sudden there's just this quiet, this deep stillness that's there, and it's like this. It infuses the whole space that you're in. So you can even be in a noisy place, but you can just feel it, sort of like this fabric, that invisible fabric that runs through the whole space of that stillness. When you feel that, when you notice that, then you know you've gone in a deeper place for yourself. And that's really good. So something to watch for. You can't make it happen, because the making it happen comes from up here. So you got to just focus on being present with yourself, connecting, focusing on your breath, really connecting into your body. And then you'll just feel it kicked in. So it's there right now. See if you can tap into it and kind of breathe it in for yourself. Yeah, very nice. Notice that stillness. Even if you could just feel it just a little bit, that's okay. If you feel it a lot, that's great too. Notice whatever amount of stillness you can kind of tap. If it feels like it's distant, it doesn't matter. You're still tapping into that. Just feel that. Then notice a point on your body, your cheeks, your toes, your knees, whatever. Yeah. What that does is that anchors it in more in for you. So, okay. All right. Good job, everybody. That was a little bit of another gym workout here. Another workout session. Everybody's doing pretty good. Everybody's pretty just kind of in chill, in the sense that there's nothing that's flying off. It's already come up. I've already talked about it. So, yeah, good job, everybody. Oh, and Tina, I didn't see you pop up. You kind of disappeared when other people came on below you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining in. How to wear white. Thank you, you too. Yeah, good to have you join in. And finding that stillness within, stillness all around. It's there. So we'll be back next Wednesday. Yeah, thank you from Cherie too. Yes, thank you, and you're welcome. And always nice to have you guys join in. We've got a lot of regulars here, and we've got some here and there. And Asta, And you remind me, so even for people who are listening post facto, if you feel like making a little donation, here's my QR code on Instagram. And thank you, Tunde. I've been enjoying your art posts there. You've got some nice ones. And Instagram for, oops, oh no, sorry, you guys are still here. It just did something. There we go. All right. You click on something and then everything disappears. And what, did I turn it off? No, you guys are still here. Oh, and Lacey, yeah, I guess you were sitting in the background. So thanks for joining in and stopping in. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Paris time, Central European time, and that's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the United States, and wherever else you are, you're going to have to figure it out. Because that's about as far as I can calculate it with my brain. And so, yeah, feel free to stop by anytime, join in, and take care. Have a good rest of your week.